Camera rolling and action.
Uh, Hello, I'm by names of Ramadan Fadul, a student of Al Mustafa Islamic College in Faculty of Science and Information Technology. And I'm here for a main purpose and for the main confusion which is taking place around the world and as well as our country, Uganda, about the action that really not accepted in our community, about the homosexuality which people call to be LGBT. And they have already created their community. And the community is really running so fast, and mostly it's in a youth community like us. We are the one concentrating in this bad character, living our real culture, concentrating on the culture that are implemented on us by other people. And according to me, the reason as why I see most of my brothers and sisters going for these actions for LGBT, a fellow man loves a fellow man, a fellow lady loves a fellow lady. The reason, the main character, if you ask people, they may tell you that it's about money. Yes, money is the general reason as why people go for that. But sometimes it also goes with the community sets, the mind of the people. Like if you live in a peer groups, automatically you will be like those people in your community.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. By names, I'm Lenyonga Rizik. I'm from Masaka district, but I'm pursuing my studies from Al Mustafa Islamic College, Kajansi. And as a youth, my opinion on this LGBTQ is I'm not happy about that because me as a youth, what I know about that issue is it has many effects. And let me talk about this incident which happened in 1965, where the lesbians and gay community wanted to fight for their rights. Like seriously, as a government, you can't accept that issue because God created us with two genders, the male and the females. He had a reason why, like, I don't see the reason why you should be engaging into that act when you're on the same gender. And another thing is, I don't see where you get the feelings for your I don't see where you get the feelings for your same sex gender. Like a man and a man, God created us like we have opposite sex. And I'm talking about that issue because we as youths, we are driving our country into hell. This issue is too heart touching and it is worsening.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the all merciful, the all compassionate, sublime in his authority and magnanimous in his dominance. I'm Kasiri Arkam bin Ali from Kasese district, Al Mustafa Islamic College, and the spokesperson of AMSA, working with Helping Hand Charity Organization. Many people have a lot of say, or many people have a lot of ideas about the issue that is trending nowadays in our country and Africa in particular. The thing of homosexuality, relating it to human rights, because human rights is variably defined as the rights or the rights or democratic entitlements like freedom given or which must be given to everyone in the whole world, and they should apply whether someone is of different sex, or from different religion, or from various places across the world. And these entitlements should be given to each and everyone. And I don't know why people do confuse this homosexuality with the concept of human rights. Yes, we know that human rights must be given to everyone, or everyone must observe rights of humanity to another. But again, you may find people, because of that, becoming very worse to themselves. People become against themselves. You find someone putting harm on himself or herself. I remember those days, some years back, a law came and it went viral. It went in the whole world when people were talking about the negative part and imposing strict laws and petitions to people who do things that harm them. In other words, people who are against themselves. And I remember here in Uganda and many places here, it became a custom. It is now our culture that when someone harms himself, or when someone poisons himself or herself, or someone kills himself or herself, they don't respect his body. They don't respect her body. They do the contrary. When someone kills or hangs himself or herself on the tree, they have a habit of cutting that rope, and someone's drops down in the pit that has been dug, and they just bury him or her like that without respect to a dead body. So this means that killing yourself or harming yourself is a problem that is punishable, or is something that is punishable here in our culture and all over the world. But I don't know why they are bringing it as human rights. One of the points, or one of human rights, that one has a democratic entitlement, that one should have freedom to harming himself in such a way. Yet all other ways are not accepted.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Praise be to Allah, the most merciful, the omnipotent, the creator, the overall controller of the universe. I'm by names of Semanda Faizo, from Wakiso district, the chairman of Helping Hands Charity Organization, and also the headmaster of Al Falah Junior School. I'm really honored for having been given an opportunity to talk about an issue of national importance, where we're talking about homosexuality. Actually, homosexuality simply means having sexual affiliations to same sex. We are seeing quotations of LGBTQ, that is lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender, queer, and all other categories that fell into that group. It is very unfortunate that in Africa, what we used to call pride in our own African cultures, it is deteriorating each and every day. We no longer have anything in Africa. What we had, what we used to call pride, what we used to call our own culture, it is deteriorating each and every day. As I come to air today, I want to inform you that we are having a situation which happened in 2014, whereby the government came up with the anti-homosexual bill, where it was talking about life imprisonment if you are caught in any sexual affiliation is to same sex. But guess what? What happened during that time? President Museveni in early February signed the bill, and it was approved. What happened? The whites, especially those from Denmark, those from Netherlands, those from USA, what they had to do, they had to cut off supplies to Africa, especially to Uganda in particular because of that. We also saw a summit in Geneva where the human rights commissioner in Uganda, who was Pai by then, came out and said that that Uganda was against human rights. Brothers and sisters, can you imagine people calling homosexuality a right to a person? The so-called Western countries with whom we say that these are the most civilized, the most educated, what they refer to as human rights is homosexuality. Just imagine. And what they had to do, they had to put force, embargoes onto Africans, onto Uganda, not until the court had to withdraw. The same circumstance came in 2021, still when the government wanted to come up with the same bill, but still the whites came and fought it. And as today, still the whites are fighting it tirelessly. What are they fighting? They are fighting African cultures. It is very unfortunate and very heart-touching that homosexuality is becoming rampant in our schools. Remember, in the very long holiday, we got a lot of issues, a lot of concerns, talking about homosexuality in schools, very big schools. The books in libraries, the movies shown to our dear students, financed by the rich people, financed by the Western countries. Now, it is now a responsibility. It is a role by every African, by every Ugandan, to go back to our own cultures, to go back to our social setting, go back to our societies, we go back to our families, we go back to our schools, and we talk about this, and we combat it together. Personally, I remember when I was young, my grandmother used to tell me that I am your wife, and it always disturbed me a lot. I was like, how can I get married to this old woman? But as I grew up, I came to know that it was a philosophy to ignite in this young boy that a man should marry to a wife, should be married to an opposite sex, not same sex. But now, these whites are claiming that a man should marry to a man, and that is a right, and a woman should marry to a woman, and also that is right, which is not right.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. Hello brothers and sisters. I'm by names of Uthman Sajjad Sevide, an English teacher at Imam Ridha Islamic Primary School, as well as the head of English department there. I'm here today to talk about the evil thing which is running rapidly through our young generation, most especially my age mates and below or and above. The LGBTQ issues which are moving around in the whole area, from the simple societies to the higher societies and all communities at large. Homosexuality has become a very big problem. It is so evil that the youth and the teachers, all the big people who would advise these young children to be with norms or to cope up with the right thing to do in our environment, and they are the ones who are letting it down or who are throwing them away from what they have to do. These people, they are misleading, they are misinterpreting the human rights with homosexuality. Starting with moral and immoral. issues in our society. If it comes to morality and immorality, what do we talk about morality and immorality? In societies or in environments where we live, or our grands where they lived before, whenever they came across an issue that is roaming around the environment, they would go back and sit and take an arrangement on how they are going to struggle and put that something on top or to put something down. When an issue comes in the society, the biggest population, or the population which comes higher than the other, when it is coping up with the situation that is going on, then it means that situation or that issue is human and it is moral. But whenever the community comes together and the biggest number of the community is against the issue or is against something, that means that that issue, it is immoral and it is not accepted in the society. So I'm hereby saying homosexuality, when we look around the whole area, when we look at communities and societies, they are coming together, the biggest number, the biggest population is against it. That means it is not human. Something which is human, it is taken by the biggest population in the area where that thing it is occurring or where it is taking place. But whenever the less population is taking something and the higher population is running away from something, that means that thing, it is immoral and it is not allowed in the society. When we talk about homosexuality, because it is the biggest thing that is taking the world now, people have gone away from elections and whatever and so ever, but they are running against this thing, which is running also at the same pace with them. And the other time it is leaving them behind. Why? Because people are not talking. Our fellow children, or our children, they are all even dying in silence. They are not coming up. They are not standing up because they don't have backup. There are a lot of people who are backing them up. So, in societies, if the issue it is taken by the biggest number, it is moral. But when it is turned against by the population, then that thing, it is immoral. And the other thing, something which is human, it cannot be first paid for, then it is taken or it is bought.
Today, I'm here to present my opinion on the issue of homosexuality and LGBTQ. Well, as a Muslim, this is something we shouldn't be embracing, and all humans at large. I should remind you about one thing. This issue of homosexuality hasn't been here, is not here for the first time. This is something that happened long time ago, by the time of the Prophet Lut alayhi salam. I remember this is a generation of Sodom and Gomorrah that was all vanquished by the Almighty. So this is an issue that is so critical that can lead to the end of our era. And as a youth, I'm always astonished and ask myself, how do we lead to the end of this era as a youth? Because we are the people, we are the leaders of tomorrow. We are the gentlemen. We are the fathers of this world currently. As young as we are, we have been influenced by the whites, those people who think they are more knowledgeable about this life, about the world, saying that homosexuality is a human right. Really, I don't think it's so. Because how can it be a human right whereby someone who engages in this will be damaged their life forever? Because there are diseases that come from this act. Imagine a man sleeping with a fellow man. At the end of this happening, someone will suffer anal cancer for the rest of their life. So it makes no sense. If someone says this is a human right, how can a right be so affecting to someone's life to this extent. And I said, religiously, all the divine religions don't accept this. Being that, I should remind you about one thing. In Islam, there is a hadith that says that al-halal bayin wal-haram bayin. All the things that are good show themselves, or they are all exposed. And those that are not good, they are still exposed. If this was a human right, why would we need to be advocating for it? Why would we be financing? These people are financing a lot in this act. There is no one on earth that has ever came up to stand up for the rights of a man and a woman, a right to marry a girl, a right to a man to get married to a girl. It's never financed. But they are financing this just because it's something evil they want to invoke in the world. They all want the world to believe in something that is wrong. They are, they are looking for ways of making this public. They try to make us think that this is acceptable. They have come up with many campaigns, financing politicians, financing musicians. These are the celebs. Because, first of all, as a youth, we all believe in these people. We all believe in these socialites. When I'm following a socialite and I get to know that this does such and such, I'll be like, I take this to be normal. But brothers and sisters, this ain't normal. In the Holy Quran, there is a verse that says, and we created man as a vicegerent on earth. Man is a representative or acts on behalf of Allah on earth. But what does this mean? I remember when Allah said this, the angels were questioning. They were like, what are you doing? You're creating someone who's going to cause mischief on earth, someone who's going to cause bloodshed. And these are the things we see. Allah said, I know what I'm doing. And then, still, we are very few people on earth that can be me and others that think that this is not right. We should fight this to an extent that let's not let other youth be exploited. Let's try to come up with campaigns, conferences to try to enlighten other people about the dangers of this, because there are something, it is said like, when you're given money to go for homosexuality, but at the end of the day, you'll never live happy. What is a life when you have millions of money, when you won't be enjoying a little of that money? So, I mean, like, this is something we shouldn't be embracing. Homosexuality is nothing but an evil on earth.